Welcome to a quick lesson about using Python Turtle. So the first thing you need to do is open a new text file. You can open it in any program you want. I'd recommend idle, which comes for free when you download Python. So go ahead and open idle and go to File, New File, and we'll talk about what to type. This up here at the top is just a comment for what I called this file. You can call it whatever you want. The focus of today is figuring out how do we get something to move across the screen. So hopefully you've just opened a file. I'm now going to show you what our end result looks like. We're going to draw this. Whoa, that was fast. Let's see that again. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this little square up here, and then it's going to shoot over to the side of the screen. That was so entertaining, I want to see it for a third time. When you're a programmer, you can run your code as often as you want. Yay! So the square moves across the screen. One more time? No, I'll resist. Okay, so we're going to run through this pretty quickly. First, we're using an import statement. You should type this as I talk, because that will help you understand much better, and you'll remember it for a longer time. So first, we're going to use import, and we're going to import something called turtle. Please note this is in all lowercase. So I just went ahead and started there on line 4, import turtle. You can ignore this comment, but I'm using it to explain what's happening. Before we can make any sort of game, we have to figure out, well, how big should the screen be? Where should the player, if this is a game that has a player of some sort, or a main character, where should that character start? We have to do certain things, otherwise the computer won't know what we want. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the turtle. So please type this, turtle.hide turtle. This is all in lowercase. And then please put open close parentheses. That's called a donut. Okay. Then we're going to do turtle.penUp. And this is because in the turtle library, it turns out you can use this library to draw lines. And by default, the pen is in the down position. So it's sort of an analogy. It's pretending there's a pen drawing on the screen. So we're just going to put the pen in the up position so that we don't draw anything right now. Finally, or second to finally, turtle.setup is going to set the size of the screen. I want it to be 800 pixels wide and 400 pixels tall. You can change this later, but please go ahead and type this exactly as it is right now. And then we will place the turtle at a location of 0, 300. Don't worry about spaces here. I'll go ahead and put another space to make it consistent, but this space is optional. It's for style. All right. To be clear, this is in x, y, which you might have seen in math class. The first item here is the x-coordinate. The second item is the y-coordinate. And these are all these measurements, all these numbers are in pixels right now. Okay, so you should have this entire thing typed right here. Please take a moment to just proofread it. Turtle.hide turtle, turtle.penUp, turtle.setup, turtle.goto. Those are the commands. All right, next, we're going to go ahead and create a sprite. And in case you haven't worked with Turtle before, don't worry about it. I'm just going to narrate what to do, and then I'll have more details in another video. So clone, what does clone mean? It means to make a copy of something. I have personally always wished that I had a clone army of many copies of myself, though I want it to be kind of a peaceful army. All right, that's a story for another time. We're going to create a clone of this turtle, and we're going to store that into a variable called sprite. Sprite is a computer word, and you could name this whatever you want. But a sprite is a computer word for some sort of character or object that appears on the screen and is animated. So that's why I'm calling it sprite. Then I'm going to set its shape. So you should go ahead and type this. Sprite gets the value of turtle.clone, followed by open close parentheses. Sprite.shape, open parentheses, quote, square. This is all lowercase. This needs to be all lowercase because it's a preset from Python Turtle. Next, we're going to set sprite.color. We want that to be red. Yes, if you'd like, you may type any color you wish here. Python Turtle has many colors. Just please make sure that it's in quotes. All right, moving right along. Next, we will do sprite.goto -50, 50. Again, these are coordinates. I'll put the space there again to be consistent. These are coordinates, -50 pixels and then 50 pixels. So the x value is -50, the y value is +50. And the origin, the 0, 0 point, is in the middle of the screen. So you should be done typing this line, sprite.goto -50, 50. Next, we will do sprite.showTurtle. All lowercase, all one word, there's a dot there. Give you a second to type this. So please check over these 5 lines and make sure you have this correct. You do not need to type the comments. Okay. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. I'm just going to keep rolling. So now I'm setting 2 variables, and this is really the meat of this program, but I don't expect you to understand it straight out of the gate. I just want you to type it and check your work here to make sure you typed it properly. I'm creating 2 new variables named x and y. I'm setting x to -50. I'm setting y to 50. This should look familiar. These are in fact are the same coordinates that we told the sprite to go to. Then I'm going to do a for loop, and these take a little while to get the hang of, so please don't worry if you don't understand it. I'm going to say for I in range 0, 10, I would like to create a variable called n. I'd like to set that equal to 10 times I. Subsequently, I'm now going to use this variable called x. I'm going to increment it by n. In other words, I'm going to add n to x. I'm going to store the result into x. So we read this line as x gets the value of x plus n. As a refresher, Python will evaluate this side first. It will find out if it has a value stored in x, and it will look for a value stored in n. It will evaluate this side, and it will store the result into x. So let me make a few notes as you're typing this. So you should have this typed by now. If you don't, take a pause. Pause the video, go forth. So please note, see how these changed color. It doesn't matter what color they are on your screen, but if you're using a standard editor like Python idle, they should be changing color to help you know that you typed the right thing. These are all lowercase. Make sure to put this colon here. And once you press enter, it should automatically tab you in. If it didn't, please note that there are 4 spaces right here. Okay, so these 3 lines, these are tabbed in. Note that they're indented from the for loop. Okay, great. And finally, we have sprite.goto x, y. At the end, the very end of our program, we have one more line. Please do not put this in the for loop. Please note that it is outdented. It is at the far leftmost level of indentation. Turtle.main loop, and then please put open close parentheses. This is what tells Python Turtle to keep the screen open. We'll deal with that in a second. So now I want you to run your code. So you're going to go to, if you're in Python idle, it's under the run menu, run module, I believe. And just because it's so fun, let's see it again. In the next video, I'll explain exactly how that for loop is running. Let's just make sure this still works. Hey! But as a challenge right now, I want you to see if you can get it to move left. Can you get it to move left instead of going to the right? So right now, this square starts at coordinates -50, 50. First of all, you might go ahead and try changing those. Can you maybe make it start in the middle? Start at 0, 0, perhaps? These will be the starting coordinates on whatever your code is. So here, this is really where the action happens, this for loop. Again, I'll explain in the next video, but can you change this so that it goes instead of from right to left, instead of left to right, can you make it go from right to left? Do you think you could then also make it go up? And if you really want to challenge, how could you make this square go from the lower left of the screen, so somewhere down here, to the upper right of the screen? How would you do that? What would be your starting coordinates? And what would you do inside this loop? What values would you make in order to get that to move? You don't have to get this perfect the right time, but guess what? You can make small changes, change these numbers, change the stuff in here, and see what happens. Keep running your code and see if you can break stuff until it works. All right, see you in the next video.